Wyclef Jean, BKS1 Radio. Let's go.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
Yo, check it out. What's the deal? This the chef. Giving a big shout out to my peoples. Big KS, you already know what it is. Salute.
What's up? It's your girl Monifa, and I'm hanging with BKS1 Radio.
Hi, I'm Ian Van Zan, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
BKS Radio, baby.
Hey, this is Jasmine Guy for BKS1 Radio.
What's going on? This is Lamont Rooker, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Shout out to BKS1, the best kept damn secret in the business.
Hey, what's up? This is Raven Goodwin from BET's Being Mary Jane, and shout out to BKS1.
Hi, this is Leon. You're watching BKS1 Radio.
BKS1. God bless y'all.
Hello, and welcome to BKS1 Radio, the Out Show. It is your girl, Latoya Chanel, and I am so happy to be in the building on this very, very, very rainy night. But you guys see who I have with me? This is, oh wait, let me turn myself down. You see who I have in the building with me. I have the ladies from Yoshida Academy. Can we clap that up? Yeah. Can we clap that up? I have the ladies here, and I am so happy to have them back. Are you guys ready?
We're ready.
Because I'm ready to pretty much just delve into absolutely everything at this point.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to do that?
Yes.
We're ready? Okay. You all know what we're talking about. We're getting right back into red flags. But wait. I haven't seen you both since last year.
I know. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. I'm literally haven't seen you since last year. Our last show was what? December?
Yes.
December. It was December.
Early December.
It was early December. First, okay, how are both of you? Somebody go first.
You, Angie, please.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm doing excellent. I just got back from the Dominican Republic. I am Dominican. And guess what? Today is our Independence Day. So to all of the Dominicans who are listening, Happy Independence Day. If you celebrate it, then that's great. If you don't, we still respect you.
Absolutely. Yes. 10 days, huh?
10 days.
I
went for my niece's wedding, and this was her third one. Not third, like as in a third marriage.
Third wedding.
But third ceremony.
Oh, I
because
love that.
She got married through the court. My cousin, who happens to be a judge, married her about 6 years ago, and she was pregnant with twin boys at the time.
Ooh, okay.
Then they had a ceremony in the church, a small one, and then they had the huge ceremony now in Dominican Republic 6.5 years later. And all three of their babies were part of it and witnessed their love. And so that was exciting.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
And I need 10 days in the sun. I definitely need 10 days in the sun. Anyway, how are you?
We're good. We're doing great. I was in Mexico City, and
you know what?
I'm
not living life right. Apparently, there's something that I'm doing wrong.
So now that you're in our lives, I think that we got to plan this thoroughly.
Yes.
And next time you need to be with us and go to Mexico City and then go with us to Dominican Republic.
Yeah, okay, I'm there.
We're actually planning to do something next year in DR, so you definitely should go.
Really?
Yes, in February. So you should come.
Next February.
So I can give you a great experience.
Yes.
When you go there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm in. You don't have to say much. I'm one of those people. Have you seen the meme where the two cats are talking and they're like, let's go on vacation? And it's like, I don't know if it's in my budget. And it's like, okay, but maybe it's not. And it's like, okay, I'm in. But like they're like having this conversation, this whole conversation.
No, but when there's always budget for your well-being and your mental health.
There you go. I'm there. So I'm just let me know when.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's get into it. I'm trying to do all kinds of things here, but let's get into it. We are talking about red flags. Did you get the link?
I got the link. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So, because I want everybody to want them to have it before we get started, right? Before we get started, I want everybody to have the link so we have everybody watching and okay. So let's get started, right?
Yes.
Red flags. So, I'm very happy because I finally officially have my red flag. I just want you to know I'm using this everywhere. Right? While driving. When I'm driving past people, I'm gonna like, no. You should have used your signal. I'm using this at work. I'm using this at home. I just want to know. I want you both to know. So I'm so happy I finally got my red flag, and I'm using this literally everywhere.
Good.
But last year, starting in March, or was it April, we went through an entire red flags series, and we were talking about recognizing red flags in every area of your life for the most part. Whatever relationship dynamic that you have, whether it was a romantic relationship or with your family, with your friends, corporate, whatever it was, how to identify red flags and what to do about them when you identify them. Because just identifying them isn't enough. You know, you have to know what to do once you recognize this is a red flag. Now, what do I do about it, right?
Yes.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to sum up all parts of what we said last year, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's the first area?
Well, the first thing, and before we go into different areas of red flags, and for those of you who didn't have the chance to see us last year, please do so.
Yep. Go back and watch.
Go back and watch.
YouTube, tune
After
in,
watching
listen,
it,
watch.
or while you're watching it, take notes and then share it with other people.
Yes.
And so please do so.
Yes.
And so before we go into that, it was great to know that there were underlined topics as we kept going, that when we started talking about this and we were taking notes into what do we want to cover today, we were discovering, oh, wait, but didn't we talk about this last time? And didn't we talk about it? It was like, this is another angle. And I want to mention that, and one of them was boundaries.
Oh.
Because it kept just coming back over and over and over.
Yeah.
And then if that's okay with you guys, I was just going to mention them and then we can go through them. But another one was expectations.
Yes.
But there was a lot of these things that and in coaching, and when we go through the sessions with our clients and our session ourselves, we call this the story that you tell yourself.
Right.
And then we have this huge telenovela, like a soap opera of like, this didn't happen because of this, and then this didn't happen maybe because of that, and then assumptions and deductions, and then the story that we tell ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And many of these red flags that we didn't see, it's because we changed the story that we told ourselves.
Yes.
Change the narrative.
We changed the narrative, and sometimes it wasn't for the best. Sometimes it was because of something else. And then the third underlined topic that came over and over and over is the real reason why we changed the narrative, and it's fear.
Yes.
And fear came in every single one of them. So this year, I would just like to invite you and the audience and everyone else to just continue delving into those three things, because I think that they're going to come as a recurring theme. And let's not go around it. Let's get this bull by the horn.
So just to reiterate, we will recognize red flags. However, the narrative that we tell ourselves will force us, maybe out of fear, to change the red flag into a yellow.
Yes.
Or to a green.
Yeah.
And have us make decisions that we would not otherwise make.
Of course.
So it's not necessarily that we don't recognize, these red flags. It's just that we change the color of the flag.
You know what it is? It's because we have false expectations.
Okay.
We will place unrealistic expectations on the other because we are not very good, and I include myself in this, in communicating what it is that we want and what our expectations are. And so what happens, because it's connected to boundaries, is that we allow others to cross our boundaries because we cross them ourselves. And it's all rooted in fear. What if this person leaves me? What if they don't love me anymore? But I just want to be accepted.
Yeah.
And it happens in every single relationship, just so you know. That's a recurring theme. Those things that we say, whether it's romantic, family, friendships, business partnerships.
Right.
It's rooted in the acceptance piece and the I want somebody to be there for me.
You don't want someone to be mad at you.
That's
you don't
right.
want someone to leave you.
Yeah.
You don't want someone to right.
Well, at the end, we're looking for very similar things as humans, and we're looking for love and acceptance.
Right.
And we're looking for that acceptance. And then the worst part is like if you do not accept yourself, it doesn't matter who is accepting you or not accepting you outside, because you're going to keep looking for it like this in a desperate way of love me and accept me and embrace me. But if inside of you, you don't do it for yourself, it doesn't matter how much you are fed on the outside. It's never going to be enough, and it will never be sufficient enough for you to start craving it.
That's right.
So let me ask a question, because a lot of times, and I know that you guys had some folks that were from the Yoshida Academy side, that were a lot of men that were saying, or your topic's geared towards men.
Yes.
I want to just be very clear that this crosses genders. This crosses.
Yes.
We're not just talking about red flags for women. We're talking about red flags for everyone in all situations.
That's right. Listen, we are in the diversity, equity, and inclusion space, and so the topic is the same across all boards. It doesn't matter how you identify or what your preferences are. We are all humans at the end of the day, and that's what we see. Individuality as a human being. And human beings, we have emotions. We go through things that make us doubt. Whether you're in a relationship with a same-sex partner or somebody of a different gender or somebody who's non-binary, we experience similar things. It's lived experience, maybe not in the same manner to the same magnitude, but there are similarities.
Yeah.
There are similarities, underlying similarities. And so it's the flags that you should be looking for in general. Yeah. And so I do have to add one more thing, because this is something that we think others give us. And that thing is happiness. And you have to understand that happiness can be found within.
Of course.
When you know who you are, when you have found your purpose, when you're living authentically as you and no one else, then you will be happy. The thing is, when it comes to expectations, is we adopt the definition of happiness, success, love of other people instead of defining it for ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to do that inner work.
Of course.
You have to do the inner work.
Yeah.
Right.
All the time.
All the time. Okay, let's get into our topics. Let's get into each one that we were talking about. Where are we starting with?
Yes.
So let's begin with the romantic, because that's where we first started. Before we even get into the romantic, we actually started the session talking about self and self-discovery.
Yeah, we did.
So let's begin there and
okay.
talk about the authentic you and accepting and loving yourself. And I have a story for you all.
Okay.
Because you began asking how I was, and I told you that I went to a wedding. And let me tell you what happened. And so forgive me for those of you who were there, but I have to say this because it's part of the family part, the famulus that we discussed. So I'm sitting there in the pool, and people keep coming up to me saying, hey, so what are you wearing? You know, the typical, what are you wearing? What color are you wearing? So we're having the conversation. And then as the conversations are progressing with different people, they're like, so you're going to straighten your hair, right, for the wedding? You're not going to leave your hair curly. I mean, we're all going to straighten our hair. I have to say this about, I'm Latina, I'm Dominican. And we are known for, you know, the doobies and straightening your hair and everything else. And, of course, I say no. I am not. We are on vacation by the beach. I'm in the water all day long.
Right.
I do not need to dry my hair and look like the rest because I love my hair. And I'm going to show up with my curly hair that day looking fabulous because my hair does not diminish my beauty or how I show up to a situation or a place.
Right.
And so while everybody was trying to look like everybody else, Angie decided to look like herself. Because it took me 44 years to understand that the only person that has to be happy with herself is me.
Yep.
And I accept myself exactly the way that I am.
I will clap that up. Yeah. I will clap that up. I love that.
Thank you.
I love that. I really love
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah. I love that. That's awesome.
Very good. Very, very good.
That is awesome.
And then by starting with yourself, again, you're not craving that acceptance anymore, and then you're not as afraid to really lose the other person. One of the things we discussed and we actually confronted is deep inside, when we asked, like in real life, did you or did you not see that red flag?
Yeah.
Like in all consciousness, because it was like, no, he wasn't like that. She wasn't like that. They were not like that.
You saw it.
You saw it.
You saw it.
Yeah.
You saw it. And
we all see it.
Yeah.
And one of the first things to heal is to stand in front of an audience, and this audience is you and your mirror.
Yeah.
Right? That's your first audience, by the way. It's you and the mirror. And in your first audience, you go and say, did you know? Yes, I did. That's acceptance. If you knew, then what was it exactly that make you not do or say something? And the question is not why. This was taught by our coach. And the why would always give you reasons. Because of this, no, the question is like, what for? What were you truly looking for? And if you find the answer, then you will have the key to opening the door that you need to heal and to move on. If you find that answer, and it takes a lot of bravery.
Yes, it does.
A lot of bravery. The reality is that some of us have the answer, I don't know. And I don't know, it's a trap of the ego, and the ego is going to tell you, we don't know.
Say that again. I don't know is a trap,
It's a trap
of the ego.
Your ego.
Absolutely.
So the ego is that, like the good angel and the evil one. No? And so the ego is this one that's saying like, you're stupid. You're idiot. You're not capable. No, don't go there. Why would you do that? You're going to be abandoned. Nobody cares about you. That's the ego. That's the ego that's talking, right? Now, sometimes the healthy ego allows you to not die and survive and say, like, don't fall into that abyss because you're going to kill yourself. So it's just like that healthy ego. But I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the one that instilled that thought from your childhood and went back and say, remember when you were a kid and nobody loved you, and remember when you felt abandoned, and remember when they were bullied? Yeah, everyone was right. And so I'm talking about that very destructive ego. So when you ask the question, why, then the ego jumps in and say, we have our reasons. There's always reasons. And you know what the problem with reasons are? That you're right. And I'm right, and you will always be right. Because you have your reasons, and your reasons will always be your reasons, and you will be right. But that's not the question. The question is, what for? And if you say what for, and what you're looking for is, what were you looking for?
Yeah.
And if you find what were you looking for, you identify, then that thing that you're looking for is the key to how do you overcome this other thing. Other than, and because you asked me to repeat this, the ego will find reasons, and these reasons will always bring you back to the justification of continuing doing whatever it is you're doing. And then the other question we have is it functional for you?
Yeah.
Is it clearly not working?
Now that you have this reason, are you going to continue on with it? That means that gives you an excuse to continue on with the same behavior, making the same decisions, being in the same headspace. Now that you have this reason, okay, great. But you have to go beyond that.
And it takes bravery. We don't like it sometimes, but we are confronted ourselves because it's painful.
Yeah.
And if you're running away from pain, I'm sorry, you're running away from pain. It's like, I don't want the sun to come tomorrow. Yeah, the sun's going to come. I don't want death to be near my life. Death is part of life.
It is, yeah.
As pain is part of
I love that you say that. My best friend, Jennifer, she constantly reminds me that pain, love, loss It's all part of living. And you are not living if you're not experiencing those things, because those things are the one that help you grow. It's the one that helps you to get to the next level. When you ask why, you keep yourself in the victim mentality. When you ask for what purpose, you move from the victim side to the victorious, because the victorious person asks, what did this come to teach me? What should I learn?
That's it.
What is this reflecting
what am
back
I supposed to get
me
from this?
Oh, yeah.
What am I supposed to learn from this?
Now,
not why is this happening?
Right,
Exactly.
because the what am I supposed to learn now helps you grow.
To grow. Yeah.
Right.
Otherwise, you'll stay stagnant.
Oh, of course.
And then we keep wondering, oh, I don't know why this keeps happening to me. My luck is horrible.
No.
It wasn't luck. Like, luck is preparation and opportunity, so it wasn't that. It wasn't an unfortunate situation where it happened to you. Things don't happen to you, they happen through you. But it's more about, I love this explanation, and our coach gave us this, and we just now do this in coaching. You go through a math course, and your teacher is called John. And John is your math 101 teacher. You go through the whole semester or the whole year, and you fail math. Like, I'm trying to teach you, and you're not learning a thing. Right? You're not starting. You're not doing the analysis. You're not doing, you're not going into insight mode. So here we are, Math 101. You failed. There was a lesson you didn't learn, period. That's it. So next year, what's going to happen? Well, you can't go to the next year, right? Like, you have to go again through Math 101. That's it. Like, you have to go through it. Your friends are already in Math 201, 401, whatever, but you're still in 101. So you go and come back, and then the teacher's name is what?
John.
Exactly. Because John is the teacher of 101. You don't want to see John again. You want to see Mary. You want to see Susan, but no, because the name of the teacher is John. Okay, good. So then John sees you again and say like, hey, Latoya, back in math. And you go like, yeah, I didn't learn a thing. So then you go like, but this year you're going to get it. And you go like, yeah, we're going to get it. All right. The year passes by. John is giving you all these lessons and you refuse to learn them. So John goes like, what part was not clear? We went through this. And you go like, no, I don't get it. Boom, the lesson passes by. All right. Next year comes. What's the name of your teacher?
John.
Exactly. What's the name of your subject? Math 101. Math 101. And so, but here's the difference now. Now John sees you again, right? First day of school. The way that John will look at you on the first day of class is not going to be, hey, Latoya. Of course not. This is the third year. He's going to look at you and say, really, Latoya?
Those lessons are going to hurt more and more the more you have to repeat them.
Oh, of course. Now the teacher is angry.
Right. They're going to get worse. And with each time you have to repeat it, it's going to get worse. It's almost like it's going to hurt you to help you so that you can move forward. Otherwise, you're just going to stay in this vicious cycle and you're going to continue to repeat it.
Of course. Now John is upset. It's like, Latoya, are you stupid? What's going on? Why don't you? And you were like, no, it's just that I didn't get it. It's like, no, you're actually not paying attention.
Right.
And here's the thing
not
about
paying
your
attention.
professor. Your professor's name is John, and you think that it's always John. Well, we fail to recognize, and we say this in our coaching sessions, is in all honesty, if you write down the name of these teachers in your life, you'll realize it's the same one. The thing is that at work, the name change or the gender change or the age change is the same teacher.
And as you mentioned, usually fear.
It's fear.
Especially when it comes to red flags.
The same person coming to teach you the same thing. So we strongly suggest that you recognize the teacher, that you write down, what is it bothering me so much? What's clashing with me? We have saying in Spanish, in English it doesn't rhyme, forgive me. Lo que te choca, te checa. So
what's
if it's
bothering you,
make it rhyme, Angela. We gotta find
the thing is, what's bothering you about someone else is a reflection.
what's bothering you is reflecting you.
Okay.
Maybe it can rhyme.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
Because remember, people are our mirrors. And we get this all the time in coaching where people are so resistant and they're like, "Oh, absolutely not. I am nothing like that person." Then we start asking questions because we're very good at asking questions. We start asking questions, digging, peeling back the layers. Yeah. And then we're like, "Oh, but I thought you said you weren't like that person." Yeah. What is the situation teaching you about you?
Yeah.
It never fails. Like, so right now there's an activity for your audience to do. It's like, if you're very upset with someone, sit down and in all honesty, in the privacy of your mirror, say, what is really bothering you about this other person? Because the next question is, and you? Mm-hmm. You don't do that? Mm-hmm. You're not like that? Because it's bothering you.
Yeah.
And then stop thinking, I want the other one to change, and own your own change.
Yeah.
Start owning. No, you start changing, and then when you're done, you're like, let me know when you're done with that change. Then talk to me about the other person. But until you're not done with that one, own yours.
The thing is that when you change, then the exterior changes.
Right.
The work is done in the inside.
Yeah.
I love something that our coach says all the time. And he says, I do not fight external battles. I identify them in the interior parts of me, and I resolve them from there. His name is Dr. Ricardo Martinez del Campos, so that's his saying. But we love quoting him and using it because it's so true.
It is.
You don't fight external wars, right, with your mind, with the things that are happening. You identify them inside of you and you resolve them. The minute you resolve it, automatically it's like, oh, the situation changed. No, you did because you did the work.
So that's the core right now. So the core, starting with red flags and starting with you as the individual, the core is to make sure that you are doing the inner work.
Yes.
Make sure you are identifying what your teacher is.
Yes.
You know, because like you said, we have recurring teachers.
Yes.
So make sure you identify what is your recurring teacher, and to also make sure that you are looking at yourself, especially not comparison, but in regards to whatever issues you have with other people. Make sure that you are looking at yourself first and asking yourself those questions before blaming someone else.
That's right. And you know what? That's part of being emotionally intelligent. The thing is that we're always constantly saying, oh, this person is toxic, that person is toxic, they did this. Nobody does anything to you. You allow things to happen to you.
Okay, so now let's take this into the relationship realm.
Yeah. We can go there.
Let's go into red flags for relationships.
Let's just go right in.
So now let's take this. Okay, that is the inner work. That is the individual work. That is the first identify red flags within yourself.
Yeah.
That is number one. Identifying the red flags within yourself first.
Yeah.
Now, let's go into those romantic relationships.
Oh, he didn't call me because he's so busy.
Okay.
Oh, the poor thing. He said he was so busy, and he's so worried.
I'm sorry, were you waving your
and the
red
whole
flag?
day passed, right? Like hours and hours passed. He didn't text me because it requires a master's degree to take this phone and text, hey babe, I can't talk to you because I'm busy. And he didn't go to the bathroom all day long. He didn't go to the bathroom because, you know.
Or she.
Were she?
No, but I was just giving the example, like the first example of me and the he and the, yeah, okay. This was particularly, or them. So nobody had time to go to the bathroom, right? Because we always say, if you have time to go to the bathroom, you have time to text something like, hey, love you. Huh? How about hey,
how's your day?
Thinking about you. How long does it take you to put thinking about you? Guess what? An emoji. A stupid emoji. You're right. But the intention is what's lacking. And the red flag, the red flag is not this person not doing it. The red flag is that you saw it and you justify it.
Yes.
And the red flag goes for you.
Yes.
Why on earth you saw it and you didn't call it, and you didn't stop it, and you didn't assertively told this person, hey,
okay,
you know what I love? For you to do this. We didn't do it.
Okay.
Red flag for you.
So in romantic relationships, there are 8 million red flags, right? There's 8 million red flags for whatever gender you or non-gender specific you identify with as a woman, because that's the only point I can speak from. That we there's so many that we can say about men. You know what I mean? There's he didn't text, or he didn't call, or he said this, or the way he acted around his ex or around his family, or you know what I mean? There's so many red flags, right? But my question is, when we identify the red flags, but we remain silent, or we don't seek to resolve or come to some sort of understanding, the red flag is not with the other person. The red flag is with you.
Yeah, because you didn't
it's
call
with you.
it out. Of course, you saw it, you witnessed it, you didn't like it,
And so that's a lack of
but you
boundaries.
let it, of course.
Absolutely.
That
And
goes-
the other
that goes
person's gonna
back
say,
to-
I'm just being me. I'm being me. And
But
and
you
there's
can
nothing wrong.
Yes, but you can be me over there. you don't have to be me you with me.
Exactly.
I love that you
so
say
you be
that,
you.
but this goes back to expectation.
Right.
Did you communicate exactly
Right.
what you wanted from
Right.
the beginning? We
Right.
don't do a good job of
That's
doing
that's
it.
a part of that
We
personal work.
change the rules as we go along. And then the person is wondering, well, wait a second. We didn't talk about that from the beginning. You
Do women do
said
that a lot?
I think everybody does that
You
a
do?
lot. We
I
all
think
do
everyone.
it. Both men, women, non-binary, however you identify, everybody does this. I've seen it. We've coached people in all, realms. And I'm telling you, it's a recurring theme absolutely across the board with everyone. We do not do a good job of communicating
And
our
comprehending.
expectations, comprehending,
Yes.
and then asking the other what their
Yes.
expectations are.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't do a good job of asking deep questions.
You think most people's conversations are just very surface level?
Oh,
Yes,
oh,
because
absolutely.
if I go
I've
deep
been guilty.
and you didn't like it,
because
you're
I
gonna run
thought the
away.
person was just too cute, and
But
I was
isn't-
like, I don't want to get too
But
surface.
isn't that dating nowadays, right? Isn't that dating? Everything is surface. Everything is
superfluous.
I can't show true emotion because that's going to run them off, or I'm being extra, or if I respond or if I call. I've even watched certain podcasts where women are like, if you call a man, you're operating out of your masculine energy. Do not do not call him. And I was like, wait, what? So, you know what I mean? Or I've watched podcasts with men, and they're like, oh no, she needs to chase you. She needs to come to you, and everybody has all of these
caveman,
rules.
like,
Yeah. Everybody has all these rules and all of this weird stuff that's going on. But at the end of the day, like you said, it comes back to you.
Yeah.
It comes back to you
course.
setting your boundaries,
Right.
not having unrealistic expectations of others, right? And making sure that if you see a red flag, that you're making sure that you communicate that instead of just dealing with it, because then on the flip side of that, the other person is saying, I know I was wrong. And they didn't do anything about it.
Right.
So now I need to continue to treat you that way.
Yes.
And then I may also question your level of self-esteem.
Yeah.
And then treat you as such because I know I was wrong and I know I should have done certain things and you didn't accept it. So, you know what I mean? Let
and
me
there's people that
do
really
that.
don't even realize that it's not desirable or that it's not okay because they were not taught. But instead, right? Because like nobody taught this jerk to be a gentleman, right? But instead of us saying like, wait, let's talk about this. Listen, love, I would like for you to do this, and that. And when you don't do it, this is a red flag for me. Are we understanding each other? So instead of saying that, we go like, oh, he lacked love when he was young.
Don't we make excuses
and
for
I'm going
people?
to save him from this. He was abandoned of love, and you know, he was missing it. So let me be the savior for that. And you know what? There's a club for that.
So my friend Jason, who actually has a show here at the station called Beards and Ballheads on Monday night, he said, well, the guy probably didn't text back because he had AT&T.
I heard the news while I was on vacation. People told me that AT&T lost service. That's cute. That's funny.
That's why.
No,
hey, Jason,
that's a red flag.
In 2024, there's so many ways to reaching out to someone.
You can get on your computer. You can go.
Right.
Everything has a DM. You can talk on Instagram. You can talk on Facebook. You can talk on TikTok. You can talk on WhatsApp. You can send an email. You can, if you want to get in contact with someone, there's a way to get in contact with people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stop making excuses.
But nice try.
But then I'm going to ask, so I love that you said there's a flip side, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you the question. Think about it. Did you do what you were expecting the other to do? I mean, Nue brought this out to me because I was complaining about something, and she says, well, Angie, why don't you do it first? And I was like, well, why should I have to do it? And then she said, ooh, so you want something that you are unwilling to do. My coach over there, because she happens to coach me too. Right. I said, shoot.
That's probably not what you said, but yes.
No, it was worse than that. But, you know, we're keeping it clean, holy, and sanctified in here. Yes. I was like, darn it. You just convicted me right now. No, I didn't. And she says, right, because there's a part of me that I realize this, even through coaching and therapy. Listen, we are big supporters, and we're going to always tell you, coaching, therapy is the best thing that you can do for yourself to heal.
Yeah.
What I was not realizing is there is a lot of the things that I do that is connected to my upbringing, right? And the fact that I grew up in a very religious Catholic home. And so there's a lot of things that I watch. My parents have been married more than 60 years.
God bless
and
them.
So a lot of the things that I've learned is by watching them, right? And so there are certain things that we have to reprogram ourselves and say, wait, maybe this was acceptable way back, you know, in the 50s and when my parents met, but not now.
Yeah.
Because times have changed. The thing is that we have, once again, we have these expectations of what the other should be doing, but are we doing it as well? I can't expect you to do something that I am not willing to give and do myself.
Right. Right.
So, and we have to stop perpetuating this roles that we play in society. Let him chase you. Let the man. Oh, I grew up with let the man conquer you. Conquer.
What?
Que el hombre te conquiste. And it was like, oh yes, because I'm a princess in the Tower of Disney.
What?
And I need to be saved, right? And so if he doesn't
At this
come with
big
the horse,
yes.
because just think about it. If we grow up with those things,
but you're right. You're right. You are 100% right.
We grew up Disney, and this is a whole generation of princesses that had to be rescued. And wake up from the slumber, like, come on, Cinderella. Somebody needed to wake her up, and then Snow White working for 7 people. Where was she cleaning and working?
Right.
We grew up like this, and so now we have to go back and do this thing again, and now we say, do you want to talk to this person? All right, then call.
Then call them.
Do you want to tell them that you're sad?
Yeah.
How about you assertively say, hey, LaToya, it made me sad when you do this.
I don't know why people have issues with honesty. Something about that bothers me because I seriously do not have issues with that at all. And I know that everyone isn't like that. And again, like you said, most of the time, fear is a lot of people's teachers, right?
Yeah.
And so most people aren't honest because they fear what the other person's response is going to be, or they fear the other person abandoning them, or they fear not having a connection, or being humiliated or laughed at, or whatever it is. But when you're able to just deal in truth, there's nothing you can do about that.
Right.
You know?
Right. It has to do with vulnerability. People have trouble with being vulnerable, and maybe it's connected to some past experience they've had, whether it's trauma or being ridiculed or being judged, or those stories that we've been told that we grew up with. And so honesty is connected to that part of us that forces us to be vulnerable.
Right. I want to read some comments really quick, because
Yes.
this is getting really deep here in my
Okay.
on my
Yeah,
Instagram
let's go deep.
page. So hardworking G, hey, says, okay, so his first comment was, does not mean, I guess he's talking about if the other person hasn't reached out. He said it does not mean that the person doesn't want to see you or deal with you, right? He says they could have honestly really just been busy. It doesn't necessarily mean that.
Right.
Here's the one, and he's right, because again, at the end of the day, if this is not something that was communicated, like this is a red flag for me, if I don't hear from you for blah 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 days, I consider that a red flag. If you have not communicated that, then it's just life. It is what it is, right? But here's the one I want to read that's very interesting.
Okay.
He said, you can't have your parents' relationship expectations right now, as many women do, because your parents started somewhere and went through all kinds of things that you don't know about.
Listen.
Can we talk about that, please? Can we talk about that? And the red flag and the red flags and that.
Listen, you hit the nail on the head. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Yes. Because I'm going to tell you something. Thank you for saying that. Quick story. Quick pause for the cause here. When I got divorced, I went back home and I was so angry with my parents. And I confronted them and I said, I can't believe that you all made marriage look so perfect. And I'm getting divorced. And I tell them the reasons why, right? And I said, you made it look so perfect. You never fought. Both of you have devoted yourselves to each other for years. Yeah. And you've been so faithful with one another. And my parents said, when did we tell you that? And I said, well,
it's what you allowed me to see.
You guys never fought in front of me. I'm going to tell you all, my parents are retired. They're in their 80s. They fight every day. And for me, it's like, who are these people? That's not what I grew up seeing. Who are these people? That's not what I grew up seeing, right? Right. And they're like, no. The thing is that we had made an agreement that we were not going to fight in front of you because I wanted to be an example. We are 6 girls, 6 daughters. He said, I wanted to be an example to all of you of what a man should be doing and treating a woman. But that doesn't mean that it came without, your mom and I having issues. We had a lot of issues. We had financial issues. We had trust issues at the very beginning. He said, but we dealt with that one-on-one in the bedroom. That's not something we wanted to expose you to because that's something that her and I had to deal with. He said, but I wanted to show you an example of how you should be treated so you don't accept somebody to treat you less than what you deserve, which is to be a queen. And he says, and that's how I treat my wife because she's my queen.
I had the opposite.
Okay, go ahead.
I had the opposite, and so I'm glad that you have the whole threshold here.
We're covering all the bases.
So I grew up with cats and dogs. I never saw my parents kissing and loving each other. No, I grew up with yelling at each other, not agreeing on absolutely anything. I still do not understand how a Japanese man can marry a Latina woman because they're opposite cultures. They did agree on many other things. Of course, I'm joking. I'm taking this to the extreme, but so I grew up thinking and perceiving that this was marriage. So when I was in that circumstance, I was unable to identify the unhappy, I was going to say unnatural, but that's not the word that I'm looking for, but like I was unable to identify what I thought was normal. Like that was normal to me. Attached to that, we grew up in a very homogeneous religious society, which is Latin America, the whole thing, where the answers to why am I fighting with this guy that we have a horrendous relationship is, this is the cross that you're supposed to carry.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm supposed to live like cats and dogs, and this is the cross that I'm supposed to carry. So let's keep on going with this horrendous relationship because I didn't know. And so to come back to something in the present time and to respond to this question of what would you do, because you bring in everybody's expectations, you create your own narrative and you create your own story.
Yeah.
And you decide with your significant other, what would you like for your family to be and for your kids to be?
Yeah.
We decided in my household to have arguments in front of my son. And my son got like, oh, you're arguing. And I told him one time to not run away. Oh, he was like sneaking under the table because we were arguing. And I said, do not run away from argument. To not run away from a conversation that can be heated. Unless it's disrespectful, but this wasn't the case because we made deals. Agree on how to argue.
Your boundaries, yeah.
Agree
your
on how to argue.
Yeah.
In my household, we have agreements of how to argue for 20 years, which is, we do not call each other names because you can't take that back. There's no physical thing when we're arguing. And if it becomes too heated, we pause because an emotion cannot overcome the reason. So those are like the three main rules. And I said, learn to argue. It's okay to be heated and to have this conversation. The most important thing that I want you to learn, and I told this to my son, is not how you fight, but how do you overcome that fight and find peace immediately after the fight. That's what we need to teach them.
I love that you say that because that's one of the questions that you should ask when you're with someone.
How do you resolve?
How do you resolve conflict when a conflict arises, in the relationship? It's so important to understand how another deals with it. Because we know how we deal with it, and we know what we've been exposed to. But this is also a way to figure out, well, you know what? Has this person healed? Have I healed?
Have you healed?
Yeah.
So I will say this. To go back to that point, I too, grew up in a 2-parent household. My parents were married to the day that my father died, and I was also a daddy's girl. So in my eyes, my father did absolutely nothing wrong, and it even got to the point where I remember being like a toddler, like 9 or 10 years old, and I'd come home. Me and my mother would be out all day, and my mother was so adventurous. She did any and everything she wanted to do. I want to go to this store, and it's in Connecticut. We're driving to Connecticut today, and she would just do whatever she wanted to do. But I would go home and tell my father. I'd be like, she got lost today, right? We were in Connecticut, and she got lost. And my mother was like, if you don't stop doing that with your father, and I'd be like, that was my dad. He could do no wrong. And then when my father passed and I got married, I expected to be treated the way my father treated me. And then by the time I got divorced, I was very naive. And to go back to the topic of red flags, I was extremely naive when I got divorced because I thought all men were going to be like my father or like my ex-husband. And I ignored all red flags. I ignored every red flag because I made excuses, and I made those excuses out of fear, out of fear of abandonment, out of fear of being alone, out of fear of embarrassment, again, who you start making those excuses. Who wants to keep starting over at this age? Who wants to be embarrassed that you were in this relationship and now you're in this relationship, and the whole while I would be in relationships and I was like, well, my father was like this, so maybe this person can be like this too, and you start doing this whole comparison thing, and what you don't realize is that's to your own demise. And until I started to have those deep inner conversations with myself, and until I started recognizing that was a lack of boundaries on my part, and that my teacher was fear, I was ignoring every red flag. And I was ignoring every red flag because I wanted every man to be my dad.
Yeah.
So it's the same. It's like falling in love with the expectation of a
It was
job,
the
of a
expectation.
job description.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's what it is. The job description.
Right.
Instead of rewriting that story and then allowing the other person to say, okay, but that's you, but it's not me. How about we agree? Or I know you're asking me to be this. I don't want to. Is that okay? And for you to change the narrative. I also think that we must flow.
Right.
And be flexible. And it's not, like, not because your parents told you or your mother told you, like, change the story.
Change the
whatever
narrative,
works for you and whatever makes you guys happy. And that's also part of recognizing red flags in relationships.
Yeah, and also recognizing the role that you play. I think
the role that you play in it.
I think we blame the other a lot, and we don't take accountability for ourselves as well.
For your lack of boundaries.
Because when I think back, there were things that I did, that also led to the end of certain relationships. And I know being obsessive compulsive was one of them, that with cleanliness. I know that it was extreme at one point, and I had to deal with that. That was an issue. And also I was inflexible because I had this idea and this thought and of how things should be and how somebody should be, and because
based off of
a father that I absolutely idolize. My dad is my hero to me, and so I had to change. And it wasn't until I went through therapy and then coaching that I realized there's a lot of things in me, flaws that I had to work on. Because it's very easy to blame the other, but you don't turn the finger back to you and say, well, how did I contribute to some of these things, and what can I improve upon? And that's the hardest thing to do.
It is
because,
for a lot of people.
Yeah, and to say I'm not perfect. There was a part of me that wanted to be so perfect and have the perfect relationship and the perfect this and the perfect that, and perfection just doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't.
But you know what does exist? Forgiveness, bravery, communication, being able to say, you know what, I want to do better and be inspired by the others, bravery in changing. And we don't recognize the steps that other people take to change because they do it for them, not for you. People get better, people improve because they want to, because they choose to, because they decide. They will never do it for you. If somebody is doing it for you, run. It's a red flag.
That's a red flag right there.
Right.
I'm going to change for you. No, please don't.
Change for you.
Please do not do that.
No, just identify them.
That's not genuine.
You make me happy.
Ooh, is that a red flag?
You make me happy. Red flag. That's a lot of responsibility, because at the moment that I stop doing whatever I was doing and I don't make you happy, now it's my responsibility. No, ma'am. No, sir. No. How about this? Look what you make me do.
No.
Red flag.
I didn't make you.
That's
a song. Yeah. That's a beautiful song. It's really fun. You can sing it, but I'm not responsible.
Yeah,
right?
no, that's abusive.
You make me angry. I did this because you made me angry.
Red flag.
You got angry because you wanted. You make me
right.
sad. You make me fill in the blank, like whatever.
You make me anything.
Anything? Yeah, that's a red flag already. Yeah. The other red flag in relationships, and I know that you wanted to move into.
I know.
It goes to work though, but it kind of takes us. It's the same red flags that goes in one that goes to the other, because bosses do this as well, right? Oh, you talk to your boss and you say you were so rude to me on a meeting, and then boss will say like, you make me do that because you did this other thing. It's the same thing. It's a red flag. It's when someone else is blaming you for their own behaviors and reactions. It's not your problem. You cannot control that.
Yeah.
And some of the red flags is when someone places you in a position of you completing their lives. You complete me. Red flag. I don't complete you, love. You should be complete and come to me complete, and two complete individuals complete each other happily, and we work together, right? But we want to save others, and we want to be saved by others, and someone putting this responsibility on you is something that is just it's like a switch, and right now with red flags, this is overall, when we say red flags, what we're trying to tell you is, please have the switch on, the antenna, like I imagine like a satellite, like a parabolic antenna, on, and just identify them and bravely call it out. Recently, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was saying something that was actually a red flag for me. And because we have a relationship that is not based on fear, I said, you said this and you did this. That's a red flag for me,
I love that you said we have a relationship that's not based on fear. Because how many people can say, I'm sorry, and I know you're getting to what you were saying.
No, please,
but
I love it. Please jump in.
How many people have that? How many people can say that? How many people actually have a circle of folks that they consider to be their wise counsel, that they consider to be trusted resources, and you can actually say, whether it's friends or families or your romantic partner, whatever it is, but you can actually say we have a relationship that's not based on fear. How many people can say that? And if you have this circle, how many people in that circle? My cousin is raising her hand. She's watching.
We love you too, cousin.
But how many people actually really live that and really have that?
Not a lot of people. But Minoy and I, so we start off the year with a word. She has her word, I have my word, and we combine the words.
And every year is a different word.
Yeah, and I love that you bring that up, because this year, I was telling Minoy, she asked me, well, what did you learn about your trip? Because she knows when I leave on vacation, I disconnect to reflect and to come back, refresh, renewed, and to think about what it is that I want to do. One of the things that we were talking about is being purposefully, because my word is purposeful, hers is decisive. So being purposefully decisive to have relationships that are not based on fear.
I don't know if I want to cry, clap, or do whatever. Because
yes.
I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. I was like, what do I do with my hands? But it's like, I absolutely, I love
everything.
that.
It changes
everything.
I
love that.
And it actually changed us, because now red flags in relationships and red flag in business, it's based on us discovering that. It wasn't easy. We both have fought, cried, come from the victim side to the victorious side. We have both been afraid, and I was very much afraid with Angie in the beginning.
Yes.
I went from the fear of, oh my God, what have I done? Then I moved to the fear of, oh my God, I would never want to lose this woman. And my fear made me not be assertive with her, because I was afraid if I tell her, she will leave me. I don't want to hurt. And then another fear, I don't want to hurt her. I don't want to offend her.
Right.
And then, so the fear was just changing, but it was John and Math 101. It's the same
right,
one, just disguised by other things. And we had to go through all these moments to come to the point where now it disappeared completely and fully. And it now became a sisterhood, like the real thing. Yeah. And it's so freaking liberating.
It really is.
Because now it's like, Angie, I have something to tell you. That thing that you said is a red flag, and I hate it, and this, and that. And she'll tell me the same thing.
And then I'm like, did you empty out your cup completely today, doll? Is there anything else left? Do we need to process? Do we need to peel back further? She's like, no, I'm done. Okay, good. I love that you said that. Yes, this, I will work on that. No, that's yours. Keep it. I don't want it. And then let's move on from there.
But okay, you know what? Unfortunately, we're coming to the end of the show, but we have to tell people how to get to that space in relationships, how to overcome that fear to be able to get to that. Because I don't think a lot of people, I have been blessed. I will say that. I have been blessed, and I did talk to you both about this with my friendships last year, and how there were people that just, they had to go. There were just way too many red flags, and I had to have relationships where we were dealing in truth at all times. I don't know how to operate in sugarcoating, and not that I need to be like the mean one. Well, I said blah, blah, blah. No, because I want you to be honest with me.
Right.
Tell me.
Yeah.
Please tell me. I always encourage people, If you think I've overstepped a boundary, tell me. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
If there's something you think I should know, tell me. Let's talk about it. If you don't think I should be doing this over here because that's, Latoya, that's beneath you. Why are you doing that?
Right.
Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Don't act like that. That's not who you are. Tell me. Say it, please.
But
Say
you're
it.
asking for it, and I think that's the difference.
Oh my gosh.
You're asking, and we
Yes.
call it the pizza that you didn't ask. Like, what is the difference between my opinion and a pizza? Because you order the pizza, you didn't order the other one, right? And so,
Right.
but what if you find people that is willing to do the pizza they didn't order and ask for more? Because sometimes we say, like, Angie, I'm gonna give you the pizza, and like she's like, I didn't order. It's like, I don't care. I'm gonna give you the pizza
With the toppings I hate.
with the toppings.
Right.
With the things you don't like.
Right.
And she said, like, give me more. And I'm willing to do that and more for her as well.
Because that's
when
love.
you're open,
Yeah.
you grow.
Yeah, you cannot grow remaining the same. And if you want everyone around you to be a yes person or tiptoe around you or operate in fear, like you both just said,
Right.
you're never going to grow. You're never going to change. You're never going to get anything. And honestly, that's not a lucrative relationship. And if it's not a lucrative relationship, I don't want it.
Of course.
Absolutely.
I don't
And
want
so
it.
if someone comes to your life and tells you, I'm never going to change, red flag. If someone comes to your life and say, I don't want to hear about it, I don't want to talk about this, this is a forbidden topic, because it's one thing is I don't want to talk about it now, but there's people that do have forbidden topics.
Yes.
Like, we're not going to
We
talk
don't go
about this.
there.
We don't go there.
Oh, we don't?
No.
We don't go there, ever.
Listen, there's people that
Ever. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
See,
yes,
that's
people like
red,
that.
red flag. And I didn't ask for your opinion. I don't want to know. If someone tells you that, red flag. In whatever it is, friendship.
They don't
want to
grow.
Yeah.
They want to
'Cause
remain the same.
If you're not willing to get naked,
You have to.
if you're not willing
You
to
have
get
to.
naked and speak not person to person, soul to soul, this is not going to work. That's red flags.
Absolutely.
Listen, guys, it's 8:01, unfortunately, because
Okay.
we still have to go through. We have done red flags within yourself, and we have done red flags in romantic relationship. We still have to go into corporate. We still have to go into friendships. We still have to go into family. We haven't done any of that tonight, so I guess we're gonna have to change that until next
time
month. Next
we'll-
time.
we'll go
Okay,
into
next
that.
time. Next time we're gonna get into that. I love today.
Me too.
And I love every single time that you're here. And a lot of the comments that I was getting today, even though my laptop died, I love the comments I was getting today. It was like, I love when the ladies are here with you. You guys have so many great points. You know, those were some of the comments we were getting. And thank you to everybody that did have comments.
Yes,
Hardworking
thank
G's last comment was, everyone is an individual and you have to deal with them as they are, not as someone else you want them to be.
Yes, that's
Absolutely.
love.
That was a good one. Again, there were so many great comments tonight.
Thank you.
And I love when you both are here. There's so much that I get from it. I love, and what I'm going to take and what I'm going to talk about with my cousin who is watching first thing tomorrow morning, because we talk every single morning.
Hey, cousin.
That's my cousin Shantae. She's in Maryland. Having the relationship without fear. How did you both put it? You put a relationship. What is it? A relationship?
Brave.
We are purposefully deciding
purposefully
to no
decisive.
longer entertain relationships that are fear-based.
Purposely deciding not to entertain relationships that are fear-based.
That's right.
And please note something. We're not looking for fearless. That doesn't exist.
Right.
We're looking for brave relationship.
Brave relationships.
Despite the fear, I will go through and we'll go together through this. Despite the fear, we will go through this together. It's not fearless, it's brave. And that makes a difference, because we're not running away from pain. We're not running away from arguments. We're not running away from fear. We're crossing it together. That makes a difference.
Brave relationships where I can say, you know what, this is a red flag for me without the fear of you departing or
right.
feeling abandoned
Yes.
or any of those things.
Correct. I have no fear.
Love. Okay, we are so far over. Okay. We're going to come back and we are going to continue on with the red flags and all of the other areas of your life. Any final words?
Please join us, like us, follow us, subscribe.
All that.
Follow Latoya and follow everything that you see. Like if we're tagging, it's because we want you to follow. and get involved. Something that we decided to do moving forward is what we've been doing right now, which is commenting and reading your comments live. So we're going to try to do that much more because we do this for you. You are our community.
Yep.
We're doing this because we're on this together. Nobody heals on their own. We should not be looking for something that is just me, but something that it's us.
Yep.
We talk about Ubuntu, which is I am because we all are. And please follow us. We're going to be then coming every last Tuesday of every month for the whole year. So don't wait for the social media promo to come. Go to your calendar, blog this time, and let everybody know, because we have to. We're here to spread love. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you so much, and thank you for those of you online.
Love, healing, and joy. Okay.
It's so nice to always see all of you. Thank you so much. If you want to get in touch with us, if you need coaching, reach out to us, www.yoshidaacademy.com. We are waiting for you, and it's all love on our end to you too.
Love, healing, and joy, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I love you all for watching. I love you all for listening. We are going on this healing journey together. And you know what? The ladies from Yoshida Academy are coming along with us. So, till next week, God willing, same time, same place, different show. See you soon. Bye, everybody. See you. The red flag. I got my red flag. Everybody got my red flags. Jeff, take us away. Yay. Okay. Yay.